This party started. So we are, this is part celebration because we are 1 week away from Robyn's book entering the world. So super, super excited for that. And I know she's put a ton of time and effort into creating something that I think is a game changer for everybody. So super excited for this power hour and for Robyn to talk about everything. I think we all feel exhausted at times, and I think for some people that's a chronic condition. For others, it's a temporary thing, but how to go from exhausted to energized, that is the story of Robyn's life, literally. So, uh, I'm going to turn it over to you and tell us all about tell us all about the book and how it came to be, and we'll go from there. You're on mute.
Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. I'm so grateful to be here, but more importantly, I'm so excited for you all to be here and for me to add value to your life. And you're going to have things you're going to be able to take away and apply right now, because I believe that living in the now is our greatest gift. The past is gone, the future is unknown, but you get to live right now, today, when you wake up every single day. That's how I live my life. When you go through chronic illness, pain, trauma, burnout, there are things that happen to you that are unexplainable to other people that don't get it, right? They just don't get it. So, whether you've been through any or all of that, or some of that, or you're just tired and you want to be energized and you want to be more productive at work and be more present with your spouse, your partner, your kids, whomever, your dog, that's a good reason to be here. That's what I'm going to help you with. Okay. So, as you all, first off, does anyone not know me? A show of hands. Anybody not know me? Okay, great. Awesome, Phil. Thanks for joining us. So, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share a little bit about who I am first. I'd like everyone to know who I am and where I'm coming from. So, I'm a corporate burnout slash dropout turned entrepreneur, very young, in my late 20s. I always knew that my purpose for life was much greater than giving to somebody else's wish, right? When you work for someone else, you can't necessarily have a lot of autonomy in what you do. And so I went through trial and tribulation of marketing and sales. That is my background. And I've grown multiple businesses successfully on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I now, for the past almost 15 years, have been a life transformer, which is a life coach, specializing in mindset, nutrition, fitness, and accountability, and allowing you to thrive in life. And what that means is I help you rid your past from negative imagery to positive imagery, so you don't have triggers, and or the triggers don't trigger you anymore, and you're able to move beyond that, because your life is a gift and your life is hard. You are able to do what you want to do, right? Because everything happens for us and to us, right? So, but we get to choose that it's not happening for us, it's happening to us. Everything in life is a choice. So we get to choose how we show up. I have a very different mindset about life than most people. I choose to see the positive in everything, and I choose to be happy and have joy injections throughout my day, not just on the weekends, not just on vacation. Because if you need to escape your reality on vacation, then you're not thriving and living in life. So that's a little bit about me. I will have a Q&A at the end if you have any specific questions. But I also want to preface that my upbringing has a lot to do with how I think and what I do, right? I've transferred the triggers into happiness and joy, and I've been relating and transforming. I'm an athlete. What my coaches have done for me, what I've learned in being disciplined and resilient, because you don't have to be the best, but you can outwork anybody. And it's putting in the reps and building the muscles over time. Okay. So as you know, or maybe not, I'm going to share my book, Exhausted to Energize, 90 Days to Your Best Self. This is just an author copy. That's why there's a line across. Yours will not when you order it. Is launching on Amazon November 12th, next Tuesday. And I'm super excited about this. So this has been a journey, as most people would say, right? Life is a journey, but really the reason why I wrote the book is because so many people ask me my story over and over and over again. So many people want to know what I did to transform my life. So many people want to know all this information. I'm one person. I can only talk to so many people at one time and get my message across. So this book right here is your ticket to freedom. It is your ticket to knowing and understanding how to thrive and overcome yourself and your trials and tribulations. I'm excited for the forward. I'm excited for all of it, but part of it is my life coach who helped transform my life wrote the forward for my book. And there's things in there that she wrote that I didn't even know, right? And so it's really interesting when you work with somebody that what they see in you that you never saw yourself, right? And so she always knew I was destined for greatness, but I didn't know that in the moment, because when you're going through pain, when you're going through illness, when you're exhausted and you can't get out of bed, when you can't take care of your toddler, you really can only think about that moment. You can't think about the future, right? Yes, Kimberly, joy injections are so important throughout the day. So the way my book is devised is 4 sections, and there's different, the sections are exhausted state, hope, the work, and energized state. And I walk you through my journey within that and how you can overcome what you're going through. So what I thought I'd do is I wanted to start off with I'm going to read parts of my book to you, and then we can have a discussion about it and what it means to you. And then I also have I promised some mindful mindset sessions. So at the end, before the Q&A, what I'm going to do is I have something that I'm going to do with you and for you that you'll find opportunity within that today, as well as bring it into your future self. Okay. So sound good? Thumbs up. Everybody good? Yes? Okay. Okay, awesome. I'm going to try to watch the chat, but sometimes I miss it. So if Kathy, if there's anyone that asks a question or has any comments, just please interrupt me. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, so what I would start with is, I didn't ask for an autoimmune disease. That made me exhausted. I mean, no one asks for exhaustion. And that is the first line of my introduction. And let me preface with what an autoimmune disease is. So an autoimmune disease is when your body is being attacked internally. You have absolutely no control over it. And there's different things you need to do in order to manage it so you can actually function, so you can actually get out of bed. I was trying to get pregnant with my second child. My son at the time was 3.5. He's now 16 and he's over 6 feet tall. And I look up to him. He's amazing. But I was trying to get pregnant. I couldn't. And when you think about, you have a child and you're thinking, why can't I have another one? Like, it seems to be a simple process, right? Then you start to question your life. You start to question and doubt yourself. So my girlfriends were thinking, something's wrong. You have to go see a specialist. So I went to a specialist. I got tons of tests done, like literally the whole panel of everything. And I came out with an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's. I couldn't even pronounce it. My antibodies, which are part of your thyroid, were off the charts high, which regulates your hormones production. And I also came out with some other health issues. So that's when my journey started, in that moment. But the reality is that my journey started way before that, in my childhood, right? Everything that happened to me happened in my childhood. And that's what is for most people. And you carry that baggage with you throughout your life. I'm not saying that I got an autoimmune disease because of my childhood, but that was just the opening and beginning of learning how to heal myself. It's not life-threatening, but it is life-changing, okay? And so now I'm going to continue. So, this book is also the reason that I'm on a mission to show other people suffering from exhaustion that there is hope. So I want you to understand that whatever you're going through, it's temporary. It's completely temporary. but that's a mindset that you get to have and that you get to live. Okay. So it's not going to last forever. You get to put in the work and you get to find the right people. Investing in a coach is the best thing I ever did for myself and my family. And you get to be your biggest cheerleader. Okay. Now I'm don't mind my light, it doesn't want to stay up. So we're going to leave it down. Okay, so the next part, now I'm going to walk you through the different phases of my book. Okay, so in the exhausted state, when I say I'm fine, I say it because it's easier than saying how I feel. And my give on this is that it's just easier to say I'm fine. No one understands my exhaustion, never mind how to pronounce my illness. It takes too much effort to explain how I really feel. I'm already exhausted. Explaining how I feel will just exhaust me even more. If you really want to know how I really feel, here goes. I'm exhausted before I get out of bed. My body aches, my joints hurt, I'm battling brain fog. There is pressure on my head, my hair is falling out, my nails are brittle. I'm constipated or bloated, I'm irritable, my anxiety is through the roof, and I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. At the end of the day, I collapse into bed to feel the same way tomorrow, and the next day, and the next week, and the next month. It's just easier to say, I'm fine. The reality is, no one will know how to respond to how I feel. It's just not worth it to go into details. It's less stressful for me to silently suffer. In a raise of hands, has anybody, quote, silently suffered and just said, I'm okay? Because, or put a thumbs up in the chat. If you've ever silently suffered, or you're just, it's just exhausting to try to explain yourself to people that just don't freaking get it. Yes, I see a lot coming up, right? And if you don't want to respond, that's fine too. But I'm confident that most of you have, because it's a normal thing to go through, right? And then now I want you to think about what the words I'm fine means, right? Like, how do you really feel? We're going to do a little visualization, and then we're going to do more later. But, there's different things that you can do to express how you feel, to make you feel better in the moment, right? Without talking to people. So you could write a poem on how you feel. You could color and make a painting or a coloring or drawing. You could dance, even if it's not your strong suit. I promise you have some rhythm. Not everybody has 2 left feet like my husband. So you can let your creativity go wild, right? And like, what are your strong suits? And really just say things to yourself that make you feel good, okay? So just visualize that for a moment. And how does that make you feel in the moment? I guarantee it makes you feel better than you did before you did it, right? Because you're giving yourself positive affirmations and making yourself feel good on things and about things that are already your gifts, okay? And now we're gonna move to the hope section, right? So remember, it's exhausted state, hope, the work, and energized state, okay? So here is another quote. When you understand the roots of your exhaustion, it becomes clear that revitalization and revitalizing yourself and your energy is within reach. Exhaustion occurs when the body and mind are pushed beyond their limits, often as a result of prolonged stress, overwork, or emotional strain. It's not just about feeling tired, it's a deep, pervasive weariness that seeps into every aspect of life, making every simple task feel insurmountable. When exhaustion sets in, it can cloud judgment, dampen creativity, and erode the resilience needed to face daily challenges. It's a signal that the body is desperately in need of rest, recovery, and a shift in pace to regain balance and vitality. Exhaustion could be a result of burnout, which occurs when you experience prolonged stress, overwork, or emotional strain, leading to physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. It often happens when there is an imbalance between the demands placed on you and your ability to cope or recover. And it can be exacerbated by a lack of support, insufficient rest, or feeling of lack of control. Once you know this, you can start to discover the root cause. When you find the root cause, you can start to find a solution. Over time, you are able to alleviate your symptoms and you'll slowly start to feel better. When you understand the cause of your exhaustion, you are able to know why your body is doing what it's doing. Once you identify the root cause, you can start to look for the energy solution. And I want you to pause for a moment and really understand what was being said, right? The first thing is the awareness that you are exhausted, not that something's wrong. Okay, and that's a key point. Not that something's wrong, just that you have something that's not working for you and you want to change that. Because a lot of times, and what I went through is that doctors were just putting band-aids on. There's band-aids after band-aid after band-aid, right? And nothing changed. I got worse and worse and worse, right? I got sicker after I got diagnosed. I didn't have any symptoms of my hair falling out, exhaustion, pain, fatigue, any of that, brain fog, before I got put on medication, right? So I just want you to think about, like, things can change because things are always temporary, and you get to decide that. You get to be your best advocate. You get to question the doctors, because even though they are book smart, they may not know how you feel. They kept telling me that my blood work was fine and I'm good to go. Yet I was having heart palpitations, I was having anxiety attacks, I couldn't get out of bed, I had to quit my job. I think that's a red flag for something's wrong. I don't know about you, but something's wrong, right? So be your best advocate and use your voice, because your voice is powerful. Right? Can anybody resonate with that? I just want to pause for a second. Put a hands up or a smiley face in the chat, and just think about, can you resonate with that? Have you been to or worked with a so-called expert and they haven't been able to help you and you're back at square one, but you really have never found the solution and you're searching endlessly for it? Like, you yearn for it, you want it, you know it's there, right? It's frustrating, it's maddening, it's exhausting, and it actually makes your stress go up, which is your cortisol spikes, which means you're even more exhausted. So it's just a no-win situation. Okay? Yes, self-advocacy is huge, Yarrow, absolutely. Okay, now, and that's the work that we get to put in, right? So we get to put in the work. It's building the reps, it's knowing what questions to ask, it's speaking up and using our voice and doing the work every single day to be 1% better, okay? And now, when you're thriving, you have not met all the people who are going to love you, including yourself. You cannot love others until you love yourself, and others cannot love you until you love yourself. Congratulations, you did the work. You put in the time, you chose to love. Life is full of choices, and you choose yourself first. Wow, how good does that feel? Unconditional love for yourself is priceless. Your love radiates through to others. The world is better because of you. You overcame adversity when it hit you the hardest, and now look at you. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Those 3 words are some of the most powerful words you can say to yourself. I am so excited for all the people you are attracting into your life who will love you for you, who will unconditionally love you. Life is beautiful when you allow it to be. So think for a moment. Have you ever said, I love you to yourself? Put a heart in the chat if you have, or you can just go like that. Have you ever said it? Awesome. That's amazing. I actually got a couple. Most people are no, right? And so it makes such a huge, I never said it. I never understood it, first of all, until I leaned into myself and I did the work and I put the reps in and I built the muscle to love myself. And what happens as a ripple effect of that is that you attract greatness all around you. I attracted all of you to be here today, right? 15 years ago, that wouldn't have happened because I didn't have the mindset around loving myself first so I could love others, right? So it's a really powerful tool that we get to have in order to be thriving and just be with ourselves and love ourselves every single day unconditionally. Okay? I'm going to pause there for a moment before we go into the mindfulness part of this. Does anyone have any thoughts, comments, questions, anything that came up for you that you'd be so brave to share? You do, you can just.
Robyn, I have a question.
Yes, please, Lauren, go ahead.
With the autoimmune disease, is that something that you had your entire life? Like maybe it was lying dormant in your body and then something triggered it, and maybe in your case that was trying to have a baby?
That's a great question. So autoimmune disease comes from a couple different ways. It's hereditary, it's environmental, and it's also can be from trauma. So I will never know how I got it. Thyroid disease does run in my family. My sister had thyroid cancer. She's a survivor. Both of my grandparents had thyroid issues that they never spoke about, and they took the thyroid pill, which is medicine, that no one ever spoke about. And it's on distant cousins and relatives. Like thyroid issues are in my family. It could be that. It could have been trauma. I had complications with my first son that I didn't know about until I tried to get pregnant again. So I can't answer that simply, but those are the reasons why. So yes, it probably was always in my body. And if I didn't try to have another child, I may not have ever found out until it was too late. And I was literally, I can't imagine being worse than I was, but it would have hit me by surprise and I wouldn't have had the tools to help myself. Did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Anybody else?
Of course.
Hey, Robyn, I was just going to share, like, I totally resonated with the, when you talk about getting professional help and whether they're prescribing medications and how it can sometimes get worse because again, they can't feel the same things that you're feeling. You know, what I deal with is a daily chronic nerve pain from a brain surgery. And so, you know, it's been 4 years now, and I've been on things like gabapentins or carbamazepines, which bring down the nervous system to a degree. But all of them have the same kind of side effects. You know, they create brain fog, they dizziness, they create all kinds of these things. So it's been a 4-year journey for me to try to figure out. I picture myself in front of this big soundboard. I don't have choices on some things, but I do have choices on which dials can I mess with. And so maybe it is sleep. Okay, yeah, I do notice that little changes in sleep will dramatically affect how much pain I'm feeling that day, regardless of the medication. Maybe some days I cheat and I don't take what my doctor says because I really don't need it, because the effects are actually worse than if I just go through it. So it does become kind of this really fine tuning and really kind of understanding yourself better than I think sometimes the doctors even know me.
I would agree with you. And, you know, I would say in my past life, I'm sorry you're going through this. But I realized what people said that to me, I'm not sorry, I'm grateful. Because I live in a state of gratitude every single day. If you said that to me while I was going through it, I would have been like, yeah, I feel like crap, this is awful. Blah, blah, blah. But, you know, my comment back would be to you, or is to you, like, I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you for overcoming and dealing with what you're doing and leaning into yourself, right? It's so important. And what I found is that traditional medicine made me worse. They didn't hear me. And the 5 doctors I went to in a matter of 2 years made me worse and worse and worse. And I found functional medicine on my own, doing my research. And I'm not here to say one way is good or bad, but for me and my experience, functional medicine was the way to go because it was more of a holistic approach. And that's how I live my life. And it really helped me understand what I needed to do for my body and what worked and what didn't work. And I also figured out that I wasn't, my body doesn't, the medicine I was taking was like going in and going out. It wasn't doing anything for me. And that's why I was having the side effects, right? I wasn't able to digest, quote unquote, the medication. So I needed compounded medication. I needed holistic remedies. I needed to figure out how to ground myself, how to be the calm in the storm, because my cortisol levels were spiked beyond the roof because I was so stressed about functioning every day, right? So I hear you and I support you, and I'm proud of you for leaning in and finding what works for you, right? And that's different for everybody. But you know, just because we pop a pill every day, and I still take medicine every single day, but it's a lot less than what I took. And it's the hyperallergenic version with a compounded version. It's like this remedy that we figured out, right? And clean eating and sleep and water and rest, right? And being able to recover after workouts, like this whole lifestyle, if you will, that it seems like you've also come in tune with as well and live every day, Scott.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I too don't I don't have any regrets. Like I don't do I wish this didn't exist? Of course. I'm a human being, right?
Right,
But
right, sure.
but I think there is kind of like I don't waste energy like you're describing on those things because I'm like, well, let me see how far I can go today. And it's a fun little experiment. And I'm like,
Right?
well, that didn't work, let me go
Exactly.
tomorrow. And
Exactly.
you
Tomorrow's
just
a new
test
day.
it out, right?
A hundred
So
percent. And just 1% better every single day. Absolutely. Great job. Great work. Yarrow, go ahead, honey.
Hi, Robyn.
Hi.
I really appreciated that while obviously part of your journey was external in solutions, the impact maybe was most when you did the internal work. And I feel like my journey lately has been such a testament to that, when something is wrong, we look to change factors often externally first, at least in my experience, people that I know, in order to remedy those things. But that real, holistic, comprehensive, sustainable change and healing happens when you do the work on the inside. And including that in your story, and obviously it's part of your story, but to have your message encompass that holistic perspective, I think is powerful and eye-opening to a lot of people who are searching for solutions externally and realizing that at least half that journey, if not more, is on the inside. So thank you for that.
100%. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing that with everybody, because you are spot on. And so many people I work with, my clients, they, for example, they don't know why that they're working out and they're not losing weight. Right? Well, it has to do with your mindset and doing the inner work and understanding nutrition, how to feel your body with their, for your workouts, and not doing all cardio. Like there's a whole slew of things of like, it's not just go to the gym, right? That's external. It's the inner work and the mindset around and getting rid of your baggage and redefining it from negative to positive imagery, and being able to be okay with what happened and forgive and forget. Like part of the work is that I did was forgiving people for hurting me, which has nothing to do with my autoimmune disease. It has to do with my stress levels, my cortisol, my baggage, everything, right? And when you pick up the phone and do that, that's hard work. Admitting that you're sorry, that's the work. But that's where the transformation is. So you're spot on with that. That's where the transformation is, right? And it's, I would say, more 80-20 rule, where 80% is the internal work and 20% is external, kind of like nutrition, 20% exercise, kind of my rule. So awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. Really appreciate it. I don't know who is next, Tina or Ivor. You guys can duke it out.
I think
Go
I was
ahead,
last.
Tina.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome. Okay, Ivor, go ahead.
Yeah, I thank you for sharing that and sharing your journey. And it's apparent that you're living what you were just speaking about. And I'm curious what advice you would give to somebody who maybe is like in a funk, like needs to go on a similar journey internally and externally that you're talking about, but is so frustrated with the same types of things, seeing the multiple doctors who can't really diagnose correctly and personally, and so is sort of in almost a depressed state, I would say. because it's like, well, nobody can help me, and I'm trying all these things, and my weight's not going down, or my health isn't getting better, and so it's sort of like, yeah, maybe there are potential solutions, but is sort of skeptical of all of them, and needs to find the way, but can't find it in spite of themselves.
That's a great question. And yeah, that's where I was for 2 years. And that's where most people are for their lifetime. So I appreciate the question. And my suggestion would be to find 5 things that you can do every single day that are simple, that will bring you joy, or that will be like a win. Okay, it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be going for a walk, a 10-minute walk, right? It can be making my bed. Let me tell you something about making the bed. This is a sidetrack, but my mom taught me this when I was very, very little. We are, a creature of our habits from our childhood and what we've taught and learned. My mom taught me that you wake up, you make your bed, then you go on with your day and wash your face, go in the bathroom, all that stuff, have breakfast. I make my bed every single day. I made it every single day in high school, every day in college, every day now. Even I make it before the cleaning ladies come, right? Because that's part of, I don't even think that's my habit. It's what I do. And I put the clean sheets on top of the comforter. That's just what I do. But you know what it is? It's a win for me. I wake up and I win immediately. I don't know if my mom knew that's what she was doing and what she, taught me as a child, but it's a win, right? So you need to be winning all day long. And so maybe it's that. Maybe it's, having all your water. Like maybe it's drinking your 8 glasses of water. Maybe it's, it can be anything, but it has to be something that you can accomplish every single day. Put it on your notes on your phone, right? And then look at it every single day when you wake up. Check off or cross off as you complete, because the brain registers wins. So you need to be checking it off or crossing it off or on paper, something, right? And then you're winning. So what happens is, Ivor, is that you already are creating a state of joy and your heart happy because you're winning. So let me address one thing too, the depression. So that was me as well. I thought I was depressed. I was like, what's happening? What do I do? It's not depression. It's, in my experience, I'm not a doctor to diagnose anything or a medical professional, disclaimer, but in my experience, it's the frustration. It's the exhaustion. It's the
overwhelm.
Yes. I remember being in the car with my son as a toddler in the back seat in his car seat, and I'm driving. I picked him up somewhere and I needed to stop at Walmart, and I was like, I literally drove right by it because I was like, I don't have the end. I can't do this right now. I'm just overwhelmed with. But then I have to go home and I have to get him out of the car and I have to bring the groceries in and I have to feed him, like all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? So if we're winning all day long, the smaller tasks don't feel as small, or the bigger tasks don't. And the overwhelm goes down, right? The joy goes up and the overwhelm goes down. And then you're in a state of mind to be able to find your solution and ask the right questions at the doctors. And perhaps it's finding a coach. Perhaps it's finding functional medicine. Perhaps it's doing your own research on fitness and nutrition and understanding how to read labels and what you're putting in your body, right? So it's the small daily wins that get us to the bigger goal. We can't get to Dream Island until we've done the work in between, right? So if we're winning, the Dream Island of where we want to be and how we want to feel will be accomplished much sooner because we're at a state of joy and gratefulness, right? And when we're grateful, we're happy, even if we're suffering from our illness or not getting the results. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it's got to be that way. It's got to be the small wins, because you can't go and find the home run. It's probably not going to happen tomorrow, so you've got to be in the state to accept and to. So, but I really appreciate it, and I think the functional medicine is something really good to explore, because there's traditional medicine and then there's other things, and if the traditional medicine doesn't work, because in a lot of times in the medical field there's specialists and people are very focused on how they do it, and it might not be the personal solution for the patient.
100%.
So
Absolutely. And I know my take on that is that you can't cookie cutter people, like we're humans, right? And so, and traditional medicine specializes, what your point, like one specific area, whether it's endocrinologist or allergist or what have you. Functional medicine is the whole body and how it functions together. And that was a key point for me in my journey, because there was other things going on. Like my autoimmune disease was one of many, but it was the main thing. But I needed everything to flow together as one piece, right? And not go to see 10 different doctors, because
Yeah.
it's time for that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question. Tina.
And good luck with the book.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Hello.
Hey, Tina.
I am so excited for you and
Thank you.
coming out. I'm not seeing you.
Hi,
But I am, yeah, just want to say that first. Everything you shared, you know, as a nurse practitioner, health coach, leaving the broken medical model, going into holistic, is definitely where I'm at. And I think the key takeaway that I saw from what you shared that stuck out to me was the action, the work. And so, you know, we can say, I went to this person, I went to that person, they didn't give me what I needed, they didn't, you know, hear me, which is true and it's broken, the system's broken. But to like really hone in on what can I do? What are the small action steps? What can I do every day, from making my bed to drinking water, whatever it is? What are the things that I can do to not only inject joy in my day, but just take control of my health and my life? And I just love that. The self-love, the awareness, the mindset, all of those things we have control. We have control over. So I just love everything you're sharing. Thank you for explaining what's in your book, and I can't wait to get a copy.
Yay! I'm so excited for you to read it. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're doing great things. And it's true, you know, it's the small daily wins that get us to the bigger goal. And if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So don't think that your doctor's the end all. Don't think that because you're burnt out from your job, that that's the end of the world. Like, you get to change. And if nothing changes, if nothing changes, take control of your life, because you're worth it. Love yourself unconditionally and know that there's more for you. You are meant for greatness. You are put on this earth for so much more. And just know that you are seen and you are loved. Julio.
Hi, Robyn. I
Hello.
love this topic. I truly do. I love the joy events. Make a list of 5 things. That's excellent. Love the functional medicine. In terms of self-talk, when you get triggered,
Yes.
and meditation, and we did a meditation exercise yesterday with at top, and it was great. And I've noticed that when I do the meditation, I'm at a better place. I don't get triggered that easily.
Yeah.
So I think that's one strategy. But in terms of self-talk,
Yep.
are there things that we can do to like practice positive self-talk and flip things around? You know, when we start getting attacked with the negative, you know.
Yes, great question. And so it comes with gratitude, right? When we're grateful, we're happy. It changes our mindset, right? And so something we can do is, they're called I ams. And you look in the mirror and you say them out loud. I am grateful. I am happy. I am hope. I am a visionary. Whatever resonates with you in that moment. It can be the same every day. It can be different. You can say things that already exist. You can say things and put them into existence that you want to come true in the future, right? And most people start off by whispering them. Then they will mouth them, and then they'll actually say them out loud, because looking yourself in the eyes in the mirror is a difficult task if you've never done it before. But you get to do that. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're reprogramming your mind for positivity, not negativity. So when the trigger comes to you in your mind subconsciously, you're saying, I am enough. I am amazing. I am confident. Whatever your I ams are. Right? And this is a daily practice. It's not something one and done. It's a daily practice. You can also start writing them down on a notebook, like physically writing. There's something that happens, the trigger from the brain when you write versus typing on your phone. And when you wake up in the morning, just have a notebook. It's your gratitude journal. And you just write, I am, da, 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 whatever it is. And then you flip the page. Don't look back. The next morning, you're going to do it again. And then you can graduate and or do it simultaneously in the mirror. And so when triggers happen, you're reprogramming how you think and how you show up, right? Like, it's so funny. My son obviously grew up with me, and he's positive on life, on positive parenting and everything. When he was little, I never said no to him. People might think I'm crazy. I think I'm brilliant, because I was able to reprogram him, or just program him, reprogram, at a very young age, right? So now he'll even catch me if I say something. He'll be like, no, 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 mom, that's not the right languaging. You have to say this instead. So instead, for example, like, I'm so tired today. Not that I'm saying that, but example. And he'd be like, Mom, I didn't get enough sleep last night, right? Or I'm grateful for the day, but I would really love to get some more sleep tonight. So it's not a negative, it's a positive, right? And you start to reprogram your brain, and you start to show up differently because of the work that you're doing. You have to do the work in order to show up differently, in order to have change and evoke change. You have to do the work and build the muscle and do the reps. Just like anything, whether you're doing a fitness competition, you're at the gym, I relate everything to being an athlete. I didn't just show up and be a superstar tennis player and play number one on my high school team and in college. I worked at it. I worked really hard. I outworked everybody on my team. And that comes with discipline and resilience. But I hope did I answer your question? As small daily little steps you can take every day to reprogram.
Yeah. I love the grateful approach, and definitely this I am methodology. And I definitely would love to look into it and try it.
Fantastic. Let me know. Keep me posted on how it goes for you, okay? Because there's definitely ways to overcome the triggers. They'll always be there, but you can't change somebody else, but you can change yourself. So I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
Awesome. You're welcome. All right. Is there any other questions? There's one last thing I would like to do that'll take about 5-ish, 10-ish minutes. So is there anybody else that has any questions or comments? Okay, great. If there are, just put it in the chat, and then I'll look after, or have Kathy let me know, okay? So I talk a lot about, first off, thank you for participating. I really appreciate you participating, because I can share information all day, but I want to be able to help you and add value to your day and what you're going through. So thank you for participating. Okay, being grateful, right? I talk a lot about gratitude. I live in a state of gratitude. I'm grateful for every single day I wake up. I'm grateful for everything in my life. Nothing is given to me, right? I work really hard for it, but I'm just so grateful to be able to show up, right? And I'm grateful to be able to receive. So before I did the work, I wasn't able to receive, meaning that someone would compliment me and I'd throw it back at them. I wouldn't say thank you. I was like, oh, not about me. Like, you did da 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 da, right? But now I'm like, thank you very much. I received that. And then I'll still make a compliment back to them, because I'm grateful for where I am and how far I've come, right? Because you never want to forget where you came from. That's super important. Never want to forget where we came from, right? And then we also want to remember where we are and the work that we did to get to where we are, right? And that's living in a state of gratitude and being grateful for everything. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to do an exercise. Have you ever just sat down, closed your eyes, and got excited about everything in your life? Everything you have, everything that is happening for you, everyone in your life, and everything, right? Everything that you're attracting in your life, everything and everyone. When we are grateful, we are happy. Happiness comes from the inside out. It's not about material things. It's about self-love and appreciating where we came from, where we are, and where we're going. Okay? So similar to the I am work, you can do gratitude work. And so we want to either take a binder or we want to write on our phone 3 things that you're grateful for daily. So for example, I am grateful for my health. I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my energy. I'm grateful for my exercising. And what happens is you do this every single day. You don't look back on the day before. You just have a blank sheet, right? Or a blank note on your phone. And you just type or you just write. And then I recommend in the morning, then you have a whole day that you are just in gratitude. You are so grateful that you woke up. You are so grateful for your health, right? No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in life, right? When things come at you, it's like they bounce off you. Because you're in a state of gratitude, that you show up differently, right? And it's really important not to look at the day before and not to look forward. You're living in the now, the present moment, right? And when we do this, you'll see how your mindset changes over time, and how you feel will also change, right? How you feel in certain situations, how you feel towards people, how you may or may not want to keep hanging around the same people, because you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with mostly. So if they're not serving you, you don't have to hang out with them, right? You get to hang out with whoever you want. And that was one of my biggest things I overcame, was I stopped hanging around the wrong people. Stopped hanging around with the wrong people. And in the moment, it can be lonely, it can be hard, but you know what? When you're on Dream Island, I don't need these naysayers with me, because my island is freaking fantastic, right? And then you get to surround yourself with amazing people like all of you today, because that's the energy that you have, that's the gratitude that you live in every single day, okay? So now, the last thing I'd like to do, does anyone have any questions first off about gratitude and doing that exercise every day and how you can change your life in that regard? Okay, great. So what I'm gonna do, it's a breathwork session. I'm with you. I used to thought some of this, well, some of you may think, was like woo-woo, I didn't get it, I don't meditate, I'm an athlete, I'm high energy. This is the best thing that I chose to do, right? This is the best thing. So I do breath work every morning. And there's a certain way that I do it. You can call it breath work, you can call it meditation, you can call it being, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it Himalaya, it doesn't matter. But it's just being with yourself for a certain amount of time. I don't do long, I do like 5 minutes. And just really being with your thoughts and grounding yourself so you can show up the way you want to during the day, right? So you can be proactive instead of reactive, okay? So if you will, listen to what I'm saying. You can do what I'm saying. You cannot do it just saying, I'm not going to call you out. Whatever resonates with you, do what you feel is good for you, okay? And that's really important in thriving in life, is do you, boo. That's my term that I coined, but do you. Don't do it because your neighbor in the next box is closing their eyes or whatever they're doing with their hands, okay? Do you. Do you, boo. Okay, so this is an abundance breathwork session. And what I'm gonna do is ask you to do certain things, and then I'm gonna cue you as well, okay? So who's with me? You guys, yes, hands up, yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool, awesome, thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Hold it for a moment, and then slowly exhale. As you breathe, I want you to set a clear intention for this session, focusing on the feeling of abundance. Whether it's financial, emotional, or spiritual, imagine what abundance means to you. Picture it vividly in your mind. Really visualize what your intention is and what your abundance is. Bring it to you. Inhale deeply, and as you do, imagine breathing in light, positivity, and abundance. Hold that energy for a few seconds. Now exhale slowly, releasing any doubts or fears. Let go of anything that doesn't serve you of your intention. Now, begin to deepen your breath. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, filling your lungs completely. Hold for a count of 4, and then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6, releasing all tension. Continue this pattern. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. With each breath, feel yourself drawing in more abundance and more positivity. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Sorry, hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Abundance and positivity. One more time. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Feel the abundance drawing in more towards you as well as positivity. With your breath, now steady and deep, visualize abundance flowing into your life. Imagine it as a golden light that enters with every inhale, filling your body, mind, and spirit with prosperity and joy. And each exhale, release any blockages or negative thoughts that stand in your way. Continue breathing. See the golden light expanding within you, growing brighter and stronger with each breath. Feel the warmth of this light as it energizes you, filling you with a sense of limitless possibilities. Continue that visualization. Continue breathing. Inhale and exhale, visualizing your limitless possibilities. As we begin to close, bring your attention to your heart center. With your next inhale, feel a deep sense of gratitude for the abundance that already exists in your life. Exhale, sending that gratitude out into the universe. Take one final deep breath in, holding that feeling of abundance and gratitude. As you exhale, gently open your eyes, carrying this sense of abundance with you throughout the rest of your day. So this mindful abundance breathwork session is a powerful shift in mindset towards abundance, leaving you feeling energized and positive. How do you feel? Yes. Did you have visualization of your abundance and gratitude, everything that's happening for you and conspiring for your greater good? Amazing. Does anyone want to share if you're open to it? If not, that's fine. I get it. It's personal. But if someone does want to share, just go ahead and unmute. And if not, that's fine too. But I know for me, when I first did this, visualization is such a positive thing. I didn't know how to do this before I started doing this work, right? Kind of like riding a bike, I had no idea. And the more you do it, the clearer your vision gets and the more powerful it gets, and you become unstoppable until you achieve it. Tina, go ahead.
I just felt positive, empowered, and peaceful, and just grounded in that little small exercise. So thank you for that, leading that.
You're welcome. I love that, grounded, yes, and peaceful and calm. So good. Anyone have any last comments, thoughts, questions before we sign off? Well, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity. There's 56 people on this Zoom. I am like floored, you guys, like, oh my gosh. And it's not about the quantity, it's always about the quality. But I'm so grateful, like literally, I know I speak about it, but I really am so grateful. Thank you for showing up. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, thanks, Scott. Please send me a request to connect, follow my content. If you have any questions that you didn't feel comfortable bringing up here in a group, I get it, DM me and we can talk it out. We can get on a quick call and talk it out. Okay, thanks, Lauren. And November 12th.
And buy her book and leave a
Buy my
review.
book. It's going to be available November 12th on Amazon. It'll be all over social media. I mean, if you haven't seen the promotions yet, you're missing out. So follow me. I'm so happy. I'm so elated. I'm so grateful. I have all these emotions going through. And the last thing I want to say is that I'm proud of you and I love you.
Great job, Robyn. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
We are
Thank you.
so excited for this book launch.
Oh my gosh, now it's like 65. I can't see, I don't have the glasses. Don't tell anyone. 65, I think. Yeah, oh my gosh. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Kathy, for this opportunity. I'm just so grateful. And if you're here as my guest, Kristen is here. She is the owner of the dance studio I go to and do my hip hop and Zumba and everything else. Thank you for being here. Yeah, if you're not a member of the Outlier Project, join. I've met so many amazing people. You all are amazing. And we all support each other unconditionally. And it's just true love. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kristen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you